Okay. I had you read mental status examination. So let's try that. Along the way, we will also be going through definitions of the symptomatology. Okay? What's the first part of the mental... Hindi na muna ako mag-quiz, I mean, let's do the active class participation instead. Is that okay with you? Or if you feel like you will not be able to recite, would you like to do a quiz instead? Let me know pala. Let me know.
I think active participation is better than a quiz.
Okay, so no quiz for today. Let's do... So yung content, tatanungin ko through the recitation instead. Okay, so first part of the mental status examination. What is the first part of the mental status examination? First part.
Doc, the appearance and behavior of the patient.
Appearance, very good. Okay. So, let's try to give examples. Para may clinical, somehow may clinical examples tayo. Give me examples. What would you report? Example. Okay, posture.
Well-groomed.
Well-groomed, very good. I suggest, para ma-trial natin, second year, no? So, para makatesting na tayo ng, makatesting tayo ng clinical skills mismo, you're supposed to be able to report kasi. So, report nyo na. Diretso na natin. Okay? Para makarami tayo ng practice. Okay? What's after appearance and behavior?
Motor activity po.
Motor activity. Okay. Give me an example.
Agitated po, Doc.
Agitated. Very good. Okay. What else? Give other examples. What do you look for?
Gait po, Doc.
Gait. Okay. What about the gait? Report nyo na. Para maka-practice. How would you report gait? What about the gait? What about the gait? Or anything else you'd like to look into pagdating sa motor activity?
Presence or absence of tics look like.
Very good.
Lip smacking and stuff.
Okay. So that is also another way of reporting the normal. Pwede nyong i-report in terms of pertinent negatives. No tics, no mannerisms. Pwede, di ba? Normal gait. Okay. Or wobbly gait. Okay. Or pertinent negatives nga. No tics. No... Kaya lang kasi instead of saying no agitation, you can just say calm, di ba? Pero pwede ganyan yung pertinent negatives nga. What's the difference between a tic and a mannerism?
Yung tic po ba, hindi nakokontrol and yung mannerism, parang ginagawa lang.
Okay. Close enough. Super close, actually. Ang difference is that hindi mo makokontrol. Mannerism may ganong element din, right? But once with awareness, you will be able to stop the mannerism. Okay? So, yung tic, even with awareness, I cannot mean to stop it. Okay? But somehow, meron ding certain level of, parang when we're not aware, you do the mannerisms, diba? Okay, what's after motor activity?
Speech.
Speech. Okay, so speech, report speech. What might be normal speech? What would you expect to be normal speech typically?
Fluent and no stuttering.
Again? Sorry, I just didn't catch it clearly, sorry. What's that again?
No stuttering.
Very good, no stuttering. So good, no pertinent negatives. How else can you report speech?
No slurred speech po.
Okay, no slurring. So, we can report it in terms of fluency. Okay, no slurring, no stuttering. So, clear, spontaneous. Okay, meaning, hindi isang tanong, isang sagot, or only when prompted. Okay, non-spontaneous yun. Spontaneous meaning, I talk. Okay, even without being prompted to. Sakto lang. Sakto lang in terms of amount, normoproductive, versus masyado maraming sinasabi, hyperproductive, or masyadong konti yung sinasabi, hypoproductive. Okay? What condition might come to mind, perhaps, when you have a patient exhibiting hyperproductive speech? Usually yan pressured din. Fast. Any condition coming to mind? Connect na natin sa pathologic somehow. Are you thinking of a certain condition?
Anxious po ba?
Pwedeng anxiety. Anything else?
Bipolar.
Pwedeng bipolar mania. Pwede. Okay. So speaking of, the next part of the MSE is
Mood and affect.
mood and affect. Very good. So speaking of mood, what's the difference between mood and affect?
Doc, sa mood po, it's the patient's current subjective state, while the affect is the external manifestation of the patient's internal emotional
Very
state.
good. Okay, so specifically, you mentioned like internal state of feeling tone siya. It's an internal feeling tone, an internal feeling climate. Okay, the affect is the external representation of the mood. By that definition, how would you report mood? What are examples?
Euthemic po.
Okay, report nyo na. Sorry, ang dinig ko kasi your feeling. Okay, so yeah, euthymic. Okay. Ang kabaligtaran nun,
Dysphoric.
dysphoric, okay, or dysthymic, okay. You can be specific also kasi euthymic is good mood. Dysthymic is bad mood. Okay, so pwede. Meron bang other specific moods that you can report? Halimbawa, anong mood nyo ngayon? Anong other specific moods? Medyo general kasi yung dysphoric at saka euthymic.
Ecstasy po daw.
Ecstatic, pwede. Ano pa? Give me 2 more examples. Napakadaming example ng mood.
Guilty.
Guilty. Another one.
Irritable.
Irritable, anxious. Very good. Okay? If you notice, pagdating sa mood, walang parang clear-cut abnormal, ano? versus like if the speech is hyperproductive, medyo you get a sense of a certain differential diagnosis. Pag mood, not necessarily, kasi like anxious, normal naman yun, di ba? So, ano pang titingnan natin sa mood? You look at the stability. So, if the mood is labile, okay, so like super elated, ecstatic yung sinabi niyo, ecstatic, and then biglang super sad, that's labile, too labile. Okay? So, hindi stable yung mood. The mood, fairly stable yan. Okay? So, that's also another thing we can look at if the mood is labile. Okay? How about affect? How can you report or describe affect?
The tone of the voice po.
Pwede. Okay. So, it's the expression. You will be able to elicit that through the speech, the language, tone, verbal expressions, facial reaction, gestures, and then how do you report it? Paano nire-report ang affect? How would you be describing it?
Like flat.
Flat. Very good. Flat. Meaning, remember, it's the expression of the mood. So, flat is wala. Walang pagbabago. Right? So, I can be happy. So, I go, so happy today. I just got promoted. But, I'm also sad about this part in the office that happened. I'm expressing different moods. No change at all in the expression of it, in the facial expression, in the tone, like you mentioned, that's flat. At the other end of the spectrum, in terms of expressing the mood, anong kabaligtaran ng flat affect?
Labile po daw.
What is that?
Labile.
Labile refers to mood. So in terms of expressing it, if it's flat means no change in the way the mood is expressed. If there is so much range to it, okay, for example, I'm so happy! Jumping off the walls. Nag-party popper pa. So how would you describe that affect?
Doc, if heightened po yung emotion.
The emotion is heightened, so you're describing the mood. So you're describing affect here. What would be at the other end of flat? Flat, there is no change to the expression. If it's too expressive, what will you call that? Letter E. Starts with an E.
Euthymic po daw.
Euthymic is mood. Thymia, mood yun. That's also mood.
Ecstatic.
Exciting.
Excited, di ba mood din yun? Careful.
Exaggerated po.
Exaggerated, pwede. Pwede pa. Okay. Expansive. Because we are talking about the range of expression. We should have a broad enough range for expressing our feelings, right? It can be flat or restricted, like wala masyado nagbabago, poker face, right? Or expansive, OA in short. Okay? Just be careful kasi the training here is making sure you know the symptomatology, what you are eliciting and what you are describing. Okay? Roughly, it's okay to say the affect is excited, but not really eh. Hindi siya pasok sa definition. Right? So, excited, that's mood. Ecstatic, that's mood. Angry, that's mood. The affect is the way that mood is expressed. So, you can say it and describe it by way of the range. I'm able to express the range of my feelings. You can also describe it by way of how it is congruent. Right? Because the expression is, yeah, but the mood is sad. Not congruent, right? So we can also describe it appropriate. Is the affect appropriate? I'm so sad. It's really been a difficult day. Is that appropriate? So you get a sense of appropriateness. Okay. Questions at this point? Questions? Clarifications? What's the next part? Next part to your MSE.
Thought content.
Thought content. Let's go first with, baka may kakalimutan pa tayo. Look at the book. Before thought content,
Motor behavior.
tapos na tayo sa motor activity. So speech, mood, affect, blank, thought content, thought process.
Speech,
Tapos na, di ba?
form of thinking,
That's thought process. Are we missing something here?
Perceptual disturbance.
Perceptual disturbances. Okay. Why is this different? Okay. How is this different? Okay. So let's first define them. What's thought content versus thought process?
Thought content product is the way in which the person puts together ideas and associations, while that's thought process. Then thought content is what the person is actually thinking.
Oh, good. So thought content is what the person is thinking of. Thought process is how the person thinks, how the patient puts together ideas. Okay. Perceptual disturbance. What is perceptual disturbance?
Hallucinations po.
That's an example. So we are talking about perceptual disturbance. Any abnormal perception, any misperception, right? I'd like to point out, okay, emphasize why we need to be so meticulous about these things. But kanina pa ako sobrang meticulous that, oops, careful, you have to be sure you're describing mood versus affect. You have to be sure you're describing thought content versus perceptual disturbance. Bakit kaya? Why do you suppose we need to be so exacting that way? Palagay nyo, bakit? Why do we have to be so sure you know that hallucination is a perceptual disturbance and not a problem in thought process? Bakit? Arte-arte naman.
So it helps us pinpoint kung ano talaga yung problem and how we're supposed to solve it.
Okay, good. How about the others? Any ideas? It can affect the diagnosis. Very good. How so? Specifically, like Julia had mentioned earlier, it can show us specifically, remember, this is physical examination, right? This is part of objective findings under physical examination. So by way of doing your mental status examination, you're able to examine parts of the brain. Okay, so that's why we have to be so sure. Hindi tayo nakikipagkwentuhan lang sa patient. So in the same way that when you have your auscultation, you have to make sure you're targeting the right valve. Okay, it's the same with mental status examination, but perhaps you don't feel it that way because it sounds so abstract. We're just asking questions. But remember, if you are sure you're hitting hallucinations, okay, in fact, even the specific type of symptom, say for example, auditory hallucination versus visual hallucination, which part of the brain is different that way? You know that there is a different part of the brain affected. Which part of the brain? Naisip nyo ba? If it's a visual hallucination versus an auditory hallucination, yun pa lang eh. Which part of the brain might be different? Name any part of the brain you will suspect something is wrong with if you have auditory hallucination. Para kanino yung occipital, Angelica? Very good. Okay, so occipital and temporal. Okay, yun pa lang, di ba? Iba na. Versus thought process. versus thought content, thought process, which part of the brain? Pwedeng parietal, medyo mas diffuse, pwedeng frontal, okay, cerebral cortex. Versus, say, for example, thought process niya malabo versus malinaw yung thought niya, hindi lang niya masabi. Meaning like iba-iba yung words, pero naiintindihan niya ako, nagkakaintindihan kami, goal-directed yung responses. Okay? Pero, parang iba yung words or hindi niya ma-express. Anong tawag sa ganun? Naiintindihan niya ako, the patient is able to understand but is not able to express. What is that?
Aphasia.
Very good. It's a type of aphasia, particularly Broca. Which part of the brain? Wait, there's here. Which part of the brain? Very good. DA44. Okay? So, frontal. Okay? So, frontal lobe siya. Okay? Versus a perceptual disturbance. Diba? So, we are hitting different parts of the brain just by asking. Kaya we want to be so meticulous that you know what you are looking for. Okay? You know how to ask it. Kasi this way, you really are able to examine different parts of the brain, metaphorically looking into the brain. Okay? Kaya lang wala naman kasi tayong, hindi naman natin ma-auscultate yung brain, di ba? Okay? But this is why we want to be so meticulous about it. Okay? Questions at this point? Questions? Clarifications?
So far, none po, Doc.
Okay, good. Let me end for this part. Okay. I'm sorry, I cannot do yet, nauubo ako, kaka-COVID ko kasi. Pag nagbabad ako long enough, nauubo na ako ng ubo. So, but you get the sense of what we're trying to do here. So, expect, okay, ang ano ngayon focus nyo? Still the same chapter. Focus on number 1, how to elicit. Okay, the rest. Anong susunod na natin? Thought content. Thought, umuulan pa kasi, so like nahihirapan ako to talk. So, thought content, thought process, how would you elicit? And then the rest of it, cognitive functioning. How would you define the symptomatology? You mentioned things earlier. Hallucination, illusion, obsession. Okay? So, yung mga ganon. Okay? I will be asking the symptomatology. Okay. Questions at this point? When is the exam, by the way? When is the
27
exam?
to 50 po.
Next week na ba yun?
The
Yes.
week after po.
Next week.
Okay. So for next Thursday, we get to test this out. Okay. So ang tip ko sa inyo, look into the definitions. Okay. Be able to give examples. Okay. And how to elicit. Okay. Carry ba yun? You suppose that's workable?
Yes po.
Okay. Tiningan na ako ng exam question. So, I kinda am planning that's how it will go. You have to know how to elicit, what you're eliciting, so definitions of the symptomatology, and examples, clinical examples. Okay? Okay, so let's take a break here. I cannot do the whole lecture. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Doc.
Thank you po.
Yeah.
Bless you po.